Good morning, dear students. Today we shall proceed with the next topic. In previous lecture, we have seen the different services of the operating system. Now, in this session, we are going to see different system calls, and basically before that, what is the system call and how the system call is implemented. Right? What is the system call and how the system call is being implemented. So now, speaking in a normal technical terminology, system call is what this single line explains what is a system call, right? This system call is what a programming interface to the services provided by the operating system. Means what lot many times I have given you an example of, right? At the front end, we are doing different activities like executing a program, clicking somewhere here and there for creating a file, for saving a file, and lot many things, right? But we do not know what exactly is happening at the back end, right? We do not know what exactly is happening at the back end. But what did I say? That for doing these respective tasks, as per the needs, the system, as per the needs, the calls will be changed to the operating system so that operating system will be doing this particular task for you. So it's not actually directly possible कि you have clicked somewhere on a file, open and save, and directly you are being communicated with the operating system. No, there has to be some mediator, there has to be some agent between our program, that is a user's program, and the operating system as a backend. Now we have seen, see, this is my program and this is the operating system, right? This is my program and this is the operating system. Now, before this operating system, we have known that before this operating system has given you some service. At the last in operating system, but operating system has given you the sum of the services. Now, this program, my program generates some calls, right? My program generates some calls. Rather, now we will call my program generates or uses some interfaces, right? My program generates some interfaces. So these two are the last end two ends. Now let's say this is what my program, this is what my operating system, right? This is my operating system directly, and this is say my program, right? Now in this direction, right? Coming into this direction and coming into this direction. Coming into this direction. If this is my program and this is my operating system. Now what the one more layer operating system provides you, that is the service, right? What operating system provides you? The operating system services. Now what my program will use? My program will use now a programming interface. You can say call it as the API, right? You can say your program is using some APIs, right? So in this direction, program is using some API, right? Now, who will communicate? Because as we have to make a use of these services, right? We have to make use of these services. So there has to be some communication in between these. So who will do this communication? So this communication will be done by your system call, right? अरे यार मेरी इस पेन से हैंडराइटिंग बिल्कुल अच्छी नहीं आती है. Someone could suggest me something better. Can you see it properly? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So have you got this communication? This is program. Program is using some API, right? And to the right side, this is your operating system. Operating system gives you some services. Now to make use of these services, who would communicate between these two? So API will generate something, and that is what the system call. So what this statement says, a programming interface, that is this API to the services provided by the OS. So API to the services. So API takes the access or gives access to these system calls, right? Now say to give an example of, right now you can just don't bother about what this API is all. Normally API is what the it's interface between two different programs. API is normally what? A interface between the two programs. It makes possible the communication between two different programs, not within the same program, between two different programs, right? So for example, I'll again give you the example of say your SIM card. Let's say I'm using a Idea SIM card. So what do I say? That Idea provider is what? My service provider, right? My phone and I am the user of this service, right? Now Idea is service provider for me, right? Just wait for a second. Hello. Well, coming back to the point that I was giving you an example of what a service is, what a service provider, how does what does it mean that we are accessing a service? What does it mean that we are accessing a service? So, as I said you the example of Idea service provider, right? So what Idea SIM card, Idea is your provider, but now what service Idea is giving to you? What service Idea is giving to you? So Idea is giving to you a voice call, right? So that you could make the voice call. So then second, Idea provides you the data pack, the internet access, right? So these two are the major things. One is the voice call and second is the data pack. And thus you are able to make the calls, right? Idea is giving you the voice call as a service. How do you use that service, right? When I make a call, what does it mean? That I am accessing that service, right? What service Idea has given you? That is the voice call. And how do I access that service? That when I will make a phone call, I'll be using that service, right? Same thing, Ideas provides you the service as a data pack. Now, when I'll be surfing on my smartphone, my phone, what does it mean? That I'm accessing that service. Similarly, in case of our operating system, the operating system is providing you a service, for example, file management, right? Now, when I'll be using that service, whenever I'm accessing a file, say I'm creating a file, I'm copying data from one file to the other file, and XYZ. In that case, I am using a service. Which service? A file management, which is being provided by the operating system, right? So, a system call is what? System call is the access between this my program, that is how do I, that is finally system call says that how are you going to use access that particular service, right? So the system call is responsible for the same. So system call is an interface to the services provided by the operating. Try to concentrate with this example of system call. So how system calls are being used. Let's say this is your sample example of copying the contents from one file to other file. Now you please remember or try to recollect the program which you might have done in C or Java for copying contents of one file to the other file, right? Logically, let's say it's my program to copy the contents from one file to other file. So what would be my flow of the execution? What would be my flow of the execution? Left side depicts my source file and right side depicts my destination file. Now this whole is a sequence of the activities taken place during this particular process, right? Now please look into the indentation of this example, right? Indentation, I hope you understand the meaning of the indentation. Right, the first one is acquire input file name. So under these next two points are there, right? Under this is again main heading, this is again main heading. Others are sub point under this. Others are sub point under this. So the first one is what? Acquire the input file name, right? This is what the task I need to do while copying content from one file to the other. So the overall, before this, let me tell you what would be the overall task. That firstly, my program will ask the user by what is name of your input file, that is source file, कहाँ से आपको data copy करना है, right? So what this says, acquire input file name. अभी ये file मतलब आपके your program should know. We are talking about the program directly, right? The program which will copy the content from one file to the other file. So my program needs to know which is the source file and which is the destination file, right? So to know this, the name of the input file, what program needs to do in a programmable way. So program needs to do what? The program will write the prompt to the screen. प्रोग्राम क्या करेगा आपका पहला डिस्प्ले करेगा स्क्रीन पे, लेट्स से printf की enter the name of the file, right? So what they are saying, write the prompt to the screen, that will say something on the screen by enter your input file name, enter your source file name, enter the name of the file जहां से आपको कॉपी करना है, that is some message will be written on the screen, and then user will enter the name of the file so that your program will accept that input. This is simply a printf statement, say, and this is simply a scanf statement, right? So to acquire a name of the file, what program needs technically कि वो program screen पे कुछ तो भी display करेगा and it will accept the name of the file. ये दो जो काम कर रहे हैं ना, ये send something to the screen, accept something from the keyboard or input. It is at the back end, it is going to use the system calls for this, right? Now second, next target. Next is what? Acquire output file name. So अभी output file name के लिए वापस ये क्या करेगा? Same process it will do. कि आप prompt करेगा कि भाई output file का नाम ले लो, दे दो आप, और accept the input मतलब क्या, जो output file का नाम दिया है user ने उसे accept करना. Again same, this would be your printf statement and this would be your scanf statement, right? तो दोनों फाइल के नाम उसे मिल गए. For now writing file, what I need to do कि मुझे जो फाइल है ओपन तो करनी पड़ेगी ना, open the input file, right? Now open the input file. To do this, if file does not exist abort. Now normally when you deal with a program related to the file, you need to do the error handling, that whether file exists or not, right? So if file does not exist, जो input file का नाम क्या है अपने, वो फाइल exist तो होनी चाहिए ना, अगर वो फाइल exist है तभी वो ओपन करेगा, ठीक है? So every time it will for पहले वो फाइल ओपन करने का ट्राई करेगा, so while opening the file it will do the error handling and it will check for if file is exist. If file exists it will open the file, and if file does not exist it will abort, stands for it will abnormally stop your program as your file does not exist. आप कहाँ से कॉपी करोगे, right? Same thing for now create the output file. Normally in case of the input file, what the word is used, the open word is used because input file must be in existence, so it has to be open. Now for output file normally जो हम लोग नई फाइल बनाते हैं वो created नहीं रहती, exist नहीं करती वो, and hence we need to create the output file, right? And thus we need to create the output file कि जिसमें आपको लिखना है. अगर यहाँ पे भी if file exist abort, तो ये क्या करेगा कि फाइल अगर exist है तो abnormal है, क्योंकि आपको नई फाइल बनानी है which जिसमें डालना है, right? And thus over here it will be opening a input file for copy. Over here it will create a new file for writing. Then next loop. Now this loop and until. I hope you guys are listening, right? This is what loop and this is what until read fail, right? मतलब ये कि दो statements है वो continuously execute करता रहेगा. क्या statements है? Read from the input file and write to the output file. यहाँ से उठाओ यहाँ पे, यहाँ से उठाओ यहाँ से, यहाँ पे उठाओ यहाँ पे, right? और ये काम repeat करते रहो जब तक आपका read fail नहीं होता. अब read fail नहीं होता मतलब क्या कि source file का जो content है खत्म नहीं होता तब तक. Once the contents of the input file are over, वो one by one, character by character, byte by byte read करता जाएगा, right? एक बार उसके contents खत्म हो जाएंगे तो read fail हो जाएगा automatically, as it will not find any more byte to read further. मतलब कि क्या कि source file का content खत्म हो गया, that time it will come out of the loop, right? So at the end, always in case of the file programs, if you open any of the particular file for some operation, it needs to always close. And thus the task is close the output file. And the last is write completion message to the screen, terminate normally. Right? कंप्लीट हो गया आपका, कॉपी कंप्लीट हो गया, आप मैसेज दे दो स्क्रीन पे, और एंड में आपका प्रोग्राम भी नॉर्मली एंड होता है, टर्मिनेट होता है, जब वी डोंट नॉर्मली सी इट, राइट? व्हेन यू प्रेस द hit the enter key, it goes back to your normal program. So this is what overall and example sequence of the activities tasks to be done while copying the content from one file to other file. And these are the sample tasks which generates different system calls to do the things. Which generates different system calls to do the things. Right? Right? What we have seen the example task, a list of the example tasks, right? Now the next, let us see how this system call is actually being implemented, right? Let us skip to this explanation and directly go to what it means, right? Now just typically try to remember that typically a number is associated with each and every system call, and system call interface maintains a table indexed. Now what does it mean? It's as good as our attendance sheet, that each and every student has got some name, right? So every system call has got some name, right? Open a system call, close a system call, close file, open file, and so on. And as you, every student has a roll number, right? A unique roll number allocated to you. In the same sense, every system call has allocated a unique ID number to it, right? And that's what a number is associated with each system call. And now a table has been maintained, it maintains a table, right? और वो टेबल का इंडेक्सिंग किसके हिसाब से होता है? वो नंबर के हिसाब से, जैसे कि रोल नंबर 1 XYZ पर्सन, रोल नंबर 2 XYZ पर्सन. सो इंडेक्सिंग किसके हिसाब से हो रहा है? रोल नंबर के हिसाब से इंडेक्सिंग हो रहा है, राइट? आई कुड इजीली फाइंड आउट अ पर्सन फ्रॉम अ रोल नंबर. सेम थिंग, इसका जो टेबल है, इसका इंडेक्सिंग जो है वो नंबर के हिसाब से होता है. एवरी नंबर इज एसोसिएटेड टू अ पर्टिकुलर सिस्टम कॉल, right? That's enough to know right now. Now let's see what's the example of this API system call, right? Now looking into the diagram, upper, now see the screen, your diagram is divided into the two half parts. Now from this middle line, system call interface towards the upward direction, this is your user mode, right? This is your user mode. And from this middle line in a downward direction, this is your kernel mode, right? Now user mode is what? The area into the memory which is accessible to the user. And obviously it means that the programs into that particular memory which are accessible to the user. In the same sense, kernel mode is, that is area into the memory accessible to the operating system, not to the user. And area into memory means what? The programs which are in those areas which are not accessible to the user and rather accessible to the operating system, right? मतलब ये एज अपन यूजर का एरिया है और ये यहाँ का ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम का एरिया है. यूजर यहाँ से यहाँ डायरेक्टली एक्सेस नहीं कर सकता, राइट? अब यूजर को यहाँ से यहाँ तो एक्सेस करना ही पड़ता है. यहाँ से यहाँ यूजर एक्सेस नहीं करेगा. एक्चुअली this access is necessary, right? Why this access is necessary? जो भी सर्विसेज ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम ने प्रोवाइड किए, ये सारे कर्नल मोड में वो सर्विसेज है, राइट? ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम ने जो भी कुछ प्रोवाइड किया है वो सारा यहाँ पे है. यूजर को इसे एक्सेस करना है. यूजर मतलब यूजर डू नॉट नो एक्चुअली मैं इसे एक्सेस कर रहा हूँ. यूजर क्या करेगा? लेट्स से ओपन सिस्टम कॉल. Now say what this open is what? Open, opening and closing bracket stand for this is some function, right? Some function in our program. So let's say कि file open का function है. F open जैसे कि normally it happens in case of C program. We write a function as F open, that is open XYZ file. So this is what my user application, my program will write this open function into the program. At the time of execution of this open function, what this open function does? It sends a call to the system call interface, right? ये जो system call interface है कि भाई मुझे ये open file execute करना है, right? So open file का purpose क्या है कि it has to open some file from the operating system. ये काम तो user area करेगा नहीं. तो ये काम कौन करेगा? कर्नल मोड का एरिया करेगा. मतलब कि कर्नल का कोई भी प्रोग्राम यही काम करेगा. तो फिर सिस्टम कॉल इंटरफेस क्या करेगा? सिस्टम कॉल इंटरफेस will look into this table. ये जो टेबल है ना, दिस टेबल इज अ इंडेक्स्ड टेबल। तो ये बोलेगा कि ओपन सिस्टम कॉल करना है, राइट। सो ओपन सिस्टम कॉल, ओपन ये यूजर का कॉल है, इससे रिलेटेड एज मतलब व्हाट द वर्ड हैज बीन यूज्ड, इसका करस्पॉन्डेंट, राइट। ये ओपन यूजर का फंक्शन है, इसका करस्पॉन्डेंट सिस्टम कॉल क्या है ये यहाँ पे ढूंढने जाएगा, राइट। सो ये आई जो नंबर है, कोई तो भी नंबर है जो ओपन सिस्टम कॉल के लिए करस्पॉन्डेंट नंबर रहेगा। लेट्स से 4 5 से जैसे हम लोगों ने बोल लिया कि इट्स 5 नंबर, राइट। सो इट विल फाइंड आउट कि 5 number has a system call, right? That is roll number 5 can do this task. So the system call with the number 5 can do the correspondent work of the open function, right? So वो memory में 5 it will go to the place where this 5 number indicates. So at the index of the 5 it will find the code written for the open system call, right? यहाँ पे अभी यहाँ पे भी ओपन लिखा है, यहाँ पे भी ओपन लिखा है, बट इन एक्चुअल सिनारियो ये नाम सेम नहीं होते, राइट। दिस इज जस्ट फॉर योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि भाई ये वाला ओपन सिस्टम कॉल फंक्शन करना है तो उसका करस्पॉन्डेंट ये कौन काम करेगा, राइट। तो यहाँ पे इट विल गो ओवर हियर एंड इट विल से कि हाँ ये ओपन सिस्टम कॉल है, इसका कोड इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ द ओपन सिस्टम कॉल, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन मीन्स फॉर कोड, इसका कोड यहाँ पे लिखा रहेगा। तो कर्नल मोड में ये कॉल, ये सिस्टम कॉल जो है ओपन फंक्शन जो है वो एग्जीक्यूट हो जाएगा। नाउ एवरी फंक्शन इज बीइंग रिटर्न, अगर ये सक्सेसफुल रिटर्न है तो इट विल गो बैक टू दी सिस्टम इंटरफेस एंड इट विल इन्फॉर्म कि ये सक्सेसफुल एग्जीक्यूशन हुआ। सक्सेसफुल एग्जीक्यूशन हुआ है मतलब क्या कि इट हैज ओपन द फाइल, राइट। इट हैज, तो सिस्टम कॉल को भी इंटरफेस ये जो ओपन कोड है वो इन्फॉर्म करेगा कि आई हैव सक्सेसफुली एग्जीक्यूटेड दिस कोड, राइट। तो सक्सेसफुली एग्जीक्यूटेड दिस कोड मींस व्हाट आई ओपन द फाइल। फिर ये सिस्टम कॉल इंटरफेस वापस आपके प्रोग्राम को मैसेज दे देगा और मैसेज क्या होगा कि आपकी फाइल ओपन हो गई है, राइट। अगर ये सक्सेसफुली एग्जीक्यूट नहीं करता तो यही पे एरर रिपोर्ट कर देगा सिस्टम कॉल इंटरफेस को, राइट। सो अल्टीमेटली दिस होल साइकिल इज व्हाट there uses some function। अभी ये जो फंक्शन है ना, तो this you could right now treat it as a API also, राइट। फिर यूजर प्रोग्राम का फंक्शन है, सिस्टम कॉल इंटरफेस में जाएगा, फिर सिस्टम कॉल इंटरफेस ढूंढेगा टेबल में जाके कि मेरा काम कौन कर सकता है, तो जो भी कर सकता है उसका नंबर ले लो, फिर उस नंबर के जगह पे जाओ तो आपको उसका कोड मिल जाएगा, फिर वो कोड एग्जीक्यूट करेगा और वो वापस आ जाएगा, right? So this whole is your explanation for how a system call is being. In the last point is what the different types of the system calls. So now over here I will not spend the time on explaining these different types of the system calls. Let us go back. Let us see only the headings of this is these all are the system calls under process control. So all are the system calls which are related to the controlling a particular process. So here all are the system calls which are related to the file management. System calls which are related to the device management, system calls related to the information maintenance, and system calls related to the communication. All these are listed very well, and all these system calls names are the generic names, right? Generic name stands for for example, over here file management, open. What open stands for, that is this system call to be used for opening a particular file. But generic in a sense, in Windows, the actual name for this system call may be different, and the actual name for the same into the Unix would be different, right? Now, the details of all these system calls, along with few of the examples, have been explained into one video, and I have uploaded that video at your Google video. The last point again, you might now see this is a simple sample example. These are what the examples of the Windows and the Unix system calls. These are now the actual names. The names which we said on a previous screen were the generic names. Now, for example, process control in a Windows. So the actual name of the system call is what create a process under Windows, and the actual system call name in a Unix is a fork, right? Same for the file manipulation, which we have seen right now. Under the Windows, the actual system call for creating a file is what? Create a file, and it is open in case of a Unix, right? So these are the normally the names we over there: open, read, write. These are the actual system call names used in the Unix, and these are your objects used in the under the Windows. These all are the actual system call names, right? So with this, we have finished with the concept of system call, implementation of the system call, different types of the